Hi, my name is Doug Dedman. I'm the president and principal of DBM Systems. Welcome back to our series on quantifying the benefits for S&OP. In this series, I'm exploring some of the hard benefits you should expect out of S&OP. The goal is to help you understand how S&OP can deliver these expected benefits and provide you a way to calculate the return on investment or ROI of implementing S&OP for your organization. If you haven't already, go back and watch the first series in this video. The link is below. In that video, I introduce how generally S&OP can be linked to these business outcomes. I also introduced an expected improvement table from research that comes from Tom Wallace, who is the author of the Sales and Operations Planning How-To Handbook. Based on his research and in this table, Tom provided the high and low values for each of these benefits and an expected or middle outcome as well. I'll be using this data to walk through some numbers for each benefit. Today, I'm going to look at the connection between S&OP and reducing inventory levels. How much should you expect S&OP to deliver in terms of inventory reduction? This is a great question. Because if you look at Tom's table, you'll notice the broad range between 12 and 70%. To understand how much you should expect, it's helpful to know where to look. Your benefits will be specific to your situation, so hopefully out of this you can get some ideas that will help you get started. The first area I would look for inventory reduction is obsolete inventory. A couple reasons for this. Many organizations write off obsolete inventory on a semi-regular basis. This makes getting a starting number a bit easier. Always better to start with the easy ones. Obsolete inventory can be the result of many different reasons. Anticipating sales for a specialized product that didn't happen, poor forecasting, mismanaged marketing campaign, or a poorly executed new product launch. These causes of obsolete inventory have something in common, something that is the hallmark of a good S&OP process. They are most often the result of poor communication. Poor communication leads to poor planning. At its heart, a formal S&OP process provides the forum and the mechanism to improve communication between the different silos of an organization: sales, marketing, operations, supply chain, and engineering. It's about getting everyone on the same page, eliminating the ad hoc decisions. The monthly S&OP meeting should include the assumptions in the plan, along with presenting the key operating parameters for each family. These activities will work to eliminate the disjointed plans that lead to obsolete inventory. So now that we've covered that, let's turn our attention to excess inventory. This one can be a little harder to quantify, so bear with me. There can be several sources of excess inventory, so it's good to look at the different sources and determine which ones are the most prevalent in your organization. Where's the biggest bang for the buck, so to speak? The first place to look is, do you have excessive production plan changes within the firm or frozen zone? These changes will lead to excess inventory. Typically, organizations that are doing this are holding excess raw, WIP, or semi-finished product to manage for the scheduling changes. Better management of the supply plan and synchronization to the master production schedule will help reduce this. Secondly, excess inventory can arise from not having clear operational objectives for a product family. Operational objectives, or the family strategy, should be documented and should include customer expected lead time, inventory targets, the mix between make to stock and make to order, and your ideal scheduling zone. Without a documented strategy and accountability to that strategy, there is no clear objective. This leads to ad hoc decision making and suboptimal use of resources. An environment like this is one where the solution is often to carry more inventory just in case, or as we used to say, had a hunch, made a bunch. Typically, this manifests itself in excess finished goods. So we've looked at both of those. Now let's look at the savings you should expect in the area of reducing excess and obsolete inventory. As I said earlier, Tom Wallace's numbers were a pretty broad range, so let's try to hone this in a bit. I'm going to break down the calculation between the reduction of obsolete inventory and the reduction of excess inventory. Also, for simplicity's sake, I'm simply going to talk about this as a straight benefit of inventory reduction. In other words, think of this as freeing up trade working capital, not getting into the annual carrying cost of the inventory. If you get excited about that second calculation, let me know, and we can probably do another video looking at it that way. Well, anyways, back to the task at hand. Calculating savings from reducing your obsolete inventory. This is pretty straightforward. I've determined my obsolete inventory from my annual write-off. For my company with $100 million in sales and carrying $15 million in inventory, we write off about 2% of our inventory as obsolete per year. This comes to $300,000. To do the calculation, I would simply multiply that $300,000 by the expected percentage in reduction, which off of the table is 30%, which yields a $90,000 benefit. I've used the median out of Tom's numbers, but I would normally suggest that this is one where you should drive to the higher end of the percentage saving, around the 50 to 60%, because improving this metric is all about improving communication, and that is at the heart of S&OP. Now, I'm going to add two more calculations to this. One for finished goods and one for WIP and raw. The calculation for both of these is the same, but I'll break it out so that you can consider using a different percentage reduction for each one of those. Start with your average on-hand inventory of finished goods. Estimate the percentage you can reduce this through better coordination and communication around family strategy, including setting inventory levels. For my company, with the example I'm using here, with $15 million in inventory, 25% of that, or $3.75 million, is in finished goods, and the balance is in raw and WIP. Being really conservative on the savings, I'm estimating this at 15%. That would free up $2.25 or $2.25 million in trade working capital. Adding the two numbers together, the benefit is freeing up $2.34 million of trade working capital. Now, this benefit should be time phased over 3 years to account for the implementation of the process. I'd recommend doing something like 20% in year 1, 80% year 2, and 100% in year 3. Now, this is a one-time number. If you want to look at it as an annualized return, you can multiply the savings by a carrying rate like 20% to calculate that annual savings. Now, as I said, that's something for another video. I've gone through this measurement, but this single measurement may not be enough to justify S&OP for your organization. But hopefully this video provides you a good starting point for linking the quantifiable returns you can achieve through S&OP, specifically around inventory. Stay tuned for the next videos to dig further into where else S&OP can bring significant benefits to your organization. Thanks for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel for more on implementing S&OP. You can learn more about how DBM can take your process to the next level by visiting our website, www.dbmsys.com. Thank you and take care.